Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and let's get going. Riz XRP sent me this. Now, I redid this, but Bank XRP had tweeted out a video from 2016 with Bill Gates, and so I wanted to tie this all together. The clip he did was from, I guess, his YouTube channel, maybe, Bill Gates on Digital Currency, 17th of February 2016. But I wanted to add some backdrop here. That one of the things he pointed out was that Susan Athey, who's on the Ripple board of directors, is a longtime Microsoft consultant. And then also that Ripple is partnered with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And then I said here, it was never Bitcoin. And when I say that, when I say it's never Bitcoin, I don't mean that Bitcoin is not going to be a store of value. And I also don't mean that Bitcoin's not going to go up in price. I think that it will. I think it's going to be allowed to be a store of value, but I think it'll probably be regulated more than most Bitcoin maxis think, okay? I think they'll rein it in to an extent. Now, I'm going to play you this clip from Bill Gates, and it'll be very clear to you, it never was Bitcoin. Bitcoin is never going to be anything more than a store of value. All right, watch.
Believe it or not, of Bitcoin, because some people have said, hey, Bitcoin is the answer to those problems. Are you a believer?
Well, Bitcoin is exciting because it shows how cheap it can be. Bitcoin is better than currency in that you don't have to be physically in the same place. And of course, for large transactions, currency can get pretty inconvenient. The customers we're talking about aren't trying to be anonymous. You know, they're willing to be known. So the Bitcoin technology is key, and you could add to it, or you could build a similar technology where there's enough attribution that people feel comfortable. This has nothing to do with terrorism or any type of money laundering.
So I find it interesting that he was throwing out all of those typical buzzwords that they've used for the last 10 years about Bitcoin: money laundering, terrorist financing, all of those negative things, when the irony is Bitcoin is not something that where terrorists could hide. It's the most trackable thing in the world. It's very trackable. But for some reason, everybody that was talking about it that was what the flag they wanted to fly, and they did it for a solid 10 years, okay? Now, that's not what I wanted to point out. I wanted to point out, he's telling you right there that there's gonna be another technology. Bitcoin is not going to be anything other than that store of value. Okay. Anyway, let's move along. This is from Stephen Boldia. Ripple and XRP are promising for Africa, and this goes right in line with what Bill Gates was saying just now. Listen to this guy. He's from Flutter Wave.
As an engineer working on Ripple, so it's not as at Flutter Wave level, it's not just Ripple that we have integrated with. We have also integrated with Stellar, if you're familiar with that. So Ripple personally is a blockchain company. They do a lot of around XRP and some of those currencies. And lately, the interaction I've had with Ripple, so I was able to connect with a lot of providers across the Europe to make remittances to Africa, particularly Nigeria, South Africa, and some of these countries. So what this has, so this seems very promising in terms of what crypto can do for Africa as a whole. And so many of organizations have started picking this up and quickly making sure that they are able to quickly plug into this crypto idea and make values with it. So Flutterwave is not left out of this, and that's why we're able to connect to Ripple. So many organizations, payment companies in the UK that are on Ripple network, so same as Flutterwave, they are able to make payments to their customers in Nigeria in fiat currency via the Ripple network. So all the transactions, some of the transactions we do at the moment comes from some of those providers across the Europe, and this makes talking about crypto an interesting aspect of fintech in Africa and in Nigeria as well.
Okay, so that's interesting stuff. Now, moving along, Michael at VAL5 links, RippleX VP James Wallace revealed some steps the company is taking to keep expanding. The company is already building the core ledger that mints the CBDC, folks. Now, Cryptic Poet had gotten a clip of that audio, and I wanted to play this for you. This is James Wallace right here. Listen to what he says.
Ripple is trying to work, as I mentioned, both with central banks and, commercial banks to build our solutions out. Specifically around CBDCs, there are really three things that we're trying to do. One is the core ledger, if you like. So the technology that is used to mint or create the CBDCs and then distribute it and track the transactions, of the systems of record, if you like, on the blockchain. That's the first step, right? Is the actual basic ledger. So we're working on that. The second piece is, and again, I don't want to keep banging this drum, but interoperability is absolutely critical. So we're working on a project which is how do you move assets from one blockchain to another? Digital assets, digital money. How do you very, very efficiently interoperate, say, between a digital dollar and a stable coin, or between a digital dollar and a native cryptocurrency? How do you do that in a way that is robust and scalable, right? Because ultimately, if CBDCs, or when CBDCs are widely adopted, these are going to be big systems that transact, hundreds of thousands of transactions with millions, if not billions, of people eventually. So that's the second piece, interoperability, and the third piece is what we call a neutral bridge asset. So this is the idea of how do you do foreign exchange between two different CBDCs, right? You could do that. The central banks could have a bipartisan sort of agreement with each other on exchange rate, or you can go through, what we call a neutral bridge asset. Could be something like XRP that is essentially used as that layer to do the FX between two different CBDCs.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, next I wanted to show you this. Max Keiser unhinged while he's talking to Peter Schiff.
This at the point of a gun. It's freaking central bank communists, who think that, we're going to get people to invest at a negative rate of return. And if you don't, we're going to put a bullet in your head. I mean, that's the model that these central banks are pursuing. That's the model of the dollar. I mean, we both don't like the dollar, except you've got a boner for gold in a reason that doesn't make any sense because they're compatible. We should be on the same page. Your customers want crypto. You're saying, no, it's my ideology prevents you from making money. Well, your customers a year from now are going to say, why did you talk me out of this? You freaking idiot, because now I'm broke. Just like they did 3 years ago. It's going to happen again and again and again. The argument's...
You know what would be really, really, really crazy? What if Max Keiser, the ultimate libertarian, what if Bitcoin was a government creation disguised as a libertarian movement to drive any inflation from the government actions into Bitcoin, and Max Keiser and people like him had been had all this time? What if? Wouldn't that be crazy? Moving along, I was going to bring to your attention they had added the Uphold shares. They sold out, and then they added more Uphold shares. Keep your eye on this company. You can download this app it's only for accredited investors as far as being able to buy, but you can go and go through the process with them if you want to try to be able to buy private equity on their platform. I've got links to their apps as well as a link to their website in my description if you want to go check that out. Also, BondCrypt, world's first Bitcoin ETF, just launched. The purpose of the Bitcoin ETFs, the world's first exchange-traded fund, is that physically backed by the biggest digital currency, is making its debut on the Toronto Stock Exchange today. That's a big-time move right there. Okay, now you got to see this. I found an article on Investopedia, and I was like blown away. And I said, you literally have to be so detached from reality, living on an island out in the ocean, talking to an imaginary friend volleyball named Wilson, to write this article and not include XRP in this list. Pitiful. I'm embarrassed for the writer. Now, make no mistake, these types of things are done intentionally. The 10 most important cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin. It's by Luke Conway in January. His top 10. 1, Ethereum, proof of work. Proof of work does not work. That's why Ethereum is going over to Ethereum 2.0, which I believe, don't quote me, I think it's proof of stake. Okay, next, Litecoin, which is also proof of work that does not work. Okay, I'll tell you more on Litecoin here in a second. 3, Cardano. It deserves to be in that top 10 in my opinion. 4, Polkadot. Polkadot is proof of stake. I haven't researched Polkadot a lot, but I've heard good things, so that may deserve to be on there. 5, Bitcoin Cash, more proof of work. 6, Stellar XLM. Yes, it deserves to be there. 7, Chainlink. I've heard a lot of good things about Chainlink, but it is on Ethereum. Let's see, I think it's on Ethereum. Let me make sure here. It's a decentralized Oracle network and bridges gap between. Maybe it's not on Ethereum. I haven't studied Chainlink a lot. Okay, so I'm not going to say that one way or another. Then Binance Coin, I think BNB Coin is going to be significant. They were an ERC token, and then they had a mainnet launch. They use proof of stake now. Okay, Tether is Ethereum. I think a proof of work. So anyway, Tether is in my opinion, Tether, there's a nightmare that could be headed for a lot of stuff with that. Monero, I can't remember. Monero, my take on Monero is that, yeah, it's been important, but it's a privacy coin. And look, cryptocurrency is risky. Add the fact that it's a privacy coin, which means that it's designed for people to be able to hide their money from the government and taxation. And I think that adds a risk that I'm not willing to take. That's why I've never owned a privacy coin and won't. Okay, so how do you make this list? You don't make this list unless you're trying to not be genuine, not to be 100% upfront. You don't make this list without XRP. You just don't. Let me give you just one example. And this is not, I want to make sure everybody understands, this is not for the purpose of picking on Litecoin. That's not my purpose. My purpose is to illustrate the absurdity. As I played to you a minute ago, you're talking in Ripple and with regard to XRP, you're talking about XRP, which has been explained in rooms filled with central bankers. You're talking about Ripple, a company that's working on probably the #1 use case for XRP, that is partnered with over 200 banks across the world. You're talking about one of the first movers in this entire space, 2013 or 12. You're talking about one of the biggest players in the game, if not the biggest. And he's going to add Litecoin to the list. The Litecoin founder sold all of his Litecoin like 2 or 3 years ago. That's the first thing you need to know. This article, let me show you. This is from 2018. Litecoin Foundation running out of money. And I'm not saying they still have money problems. That's not my point in showing you this. My point in showing you this is these 2 lines. The Litecoin Foundation, this is from 2018, barely has the money left, down from more than 1 million in income last year to 70,000 in minus this year. That 1 million income was mainly due to a donation, but they also made about 200,000 in merchandise sales. Now let's put this in perspective. This guy just included on the 10 most important cryptocurrencies in all the world, and one of them has a foundation who was the foundation that is run with money, 830,000 that was donated, and the rest of their money from t-shirt sales, for crying out loud. That is, there's only one word for putting them on that list and not XRP. Ludicrous. Reminds me of Ludicrous Speed from Spaceballs, the movie, when I was a kid. That is ludicrous speed, okay? And I've been to a Litecoin conference, and I've been to Swell for Ripple. And just to put this in summary, it would be like going to a trailer park. And look, I'm not trying to bash Litecoin, I'm not. But it would be like going to a trailer park and then going to Jackson Hole, Wyoming to hang out with billionaires at their mansions. That is the difference between what we're talking about here, folks. This is utterly embarrassing what this guy wrote, okay? That's truthfully. Steve Gilbronson pulled an interesting little article from a while back. Crypto startup Ripple donates $50 million to top schools to boost blockchain. MIT, huh? MIT. We've talked about them a lot on this channel recently. I know a lot. There's a lot of people that are important in this whole game that come from MIT, aren't there? You look it up. And there's the article. It's from back in 2018. Cryptic Poet. Just in, Ripple partner SBI made a big investment in Swiss crypto bank Signum. That's a big deal. Signum also has XRP at the bank. Now, anytime Ripple retweets something, I make sure to go and cover it. They retweeted their the Ripple 2020 predictions, so I thought maybe we'd go back on through them. The first thing that it looks like they predict, crypto quickening. The tide is turning, says Ashish Birla. It's possible that we could even see fintech or cryptocurrency company acquire a traditional financial institution this coming year. I don't know if you remember from a video that I played, I think it was this week, where Brad Garlinghouse talked about how Ripple might be making some acquisitions. There's smoke there. I believe there might be some fire soon, folks. The dawn of DeFi. We're expecting the asset tokenization trend to accelerate on XRPL, particularly stablecoin issuance, with multiple production deployments in corporate products built on new and improved tooling. Regulatory clarity. This is Stuart Alderati. Intelligent, well thought out regulations communicated effectively and uniformly applied can help level the playing field and unleash innovation, And he's talking about how a new administration is expected to bring renewed focus on regulation and enforcement from the White House. The year of the CBDC. I think that kind of speaks for itself. The CBDC, we've shown the job postings where Ripple is hiring people that are going to work directly with central banks, having to do with the XRP ledger, maybe building CBDCs on the XRP ledger. Then beyond proof of work, looks like maybe more proof of work bashing here. The launch of Ethereum's Beacon chain was an important turning point in 2020 for Ripple CTO David Schwartz. He sees it as a clear move away from proof of work and towards more scalable, sustainable systems in 2021. The fact of the matter is that proof of work systems consume a lot of resource and energy, said Schwartz. They also feature an inevitable bend towards centralization over time as the miners with the cheapest power become key stakeholders. 2021 will see technical innovations continue to improve blockchains like XRPL that use newer technologies. Focus on impact. Let's see, Monica Long. In 2021, we'll see crypto make good on its original promise to remake finance as more accessible and equitable for the world's underserved. That's what Bill Gates was talking about at the beginning of this video. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that from all of Ripple's predictions, it looks to me like 2021 is on like Donkey Kong. And what if we had a little settlement thrown in there to mix? Thanks for listening.